is Sarah NAJIHA binti Sheikh MOZHAR, and I am the first presenter. So the first question is, lawmakers might argue that they were creating a more pluralistic society by banning all forms of religious expression in public places, whereas detractor might argue that the ban does just the opposite. Which side do you agree with and why? So in my opinion, I am agree with the detractors. It is unreasonable to ban all forms of religious expression in public places. As we can see, the use of burqa does not harm people. For example, there are lots of women who use burqa in Arab. The people there can easily adapt to them without asking the woman to take out the burqa. If some country can get used to the culture, then why France cannot do the same? It is true that wearing burqa is not a mandate in Islamic religion, but they should be more considered on the women. This is because the aim of wearing burqa is to help the woman feel safer and protect themselves from any defamation. Banning the burqa will not result in oppressed women throwing off their burqa and newfound freedom, but the more likely result is their exclusion from the society. This is because the woman will choose to stay and remain at home than going out from their house. There should be a freedom for the people in practicing their religion. The lawmakers should be more concerned on the punishment for the one who do bad things. So, the punishment should make people learn their lesson and make other people recognize that they should not do that mistakes. In this situation, I seriously think that the lawmakers does not encouraging tolerance, pluralism and respect by banning the burqa, but they just simply remove the burqa from the public. The lawmakers should be more tolerant and open-minded enough for a diverse range of religious beliefs and practices, which includes wearing the burqa and niqab. Second question is, should all religious practices be tolerated in a free society? Are there limits to what you think should be allowed? Explain your reasoning. The religious freedom also can be understood as the freedom to practice religion individually or in community with others and in public or private. So, in my opinion, all religion practices can be tolerated in a free society as long as it does not harm any other people or community. Thus, the people should set their own limits. It is important to ensure that the religious freedom are not against the human rights legislation. For example, violence and discrimination. This is to ensure that everyone can live in harmonious environment while practicing their religion. The restriction to the religious freedom cannot be made on the basis of populism or prejudice. The restriction should be created when the exercise of the religious freedom detrimentally and disproportionately burdens another person. For example, a father cannot claim that beating a child is one of the practices of their religion. It is clearly wrong to use violence to other person even though they are our family. So in conclusion, people should have common sense and differentiate what is right and what is wrong. They should be the one who responsible about their own religion. One should try their best to take care of themselves so that they do not give bad impression about their religion to other people.
Assalamualaikum, sir. My name is QALLISHAH ARISA binti ABDULLAH. Today, I would like to further present about the third question on our case study, which is, do you think in your home country should implement a ban of face covering in public? Why or why not? I think in my home country Malaysia, the ban of face covering in public should not be implemented. Okay, the first reason why I think in our home country, Malaysia, should not ban face covering. First, we should respecting other religious belief. As we know, in Malaysia, there are a lot differences religious. For example, like Buddha, Christian, and Islam. So, all the religions are free to practice what on their religious should do and should not do. Okay. Significantly, face covering like burqa and niqab is for the woman, Muslim woman in Islam. However, not all of them are wearing it. It is a obligatory practices. If the woman want to use it, they can. If they don't want to use it, it's okay too. It depends on the Muslim woman itself who wants to wear or not. So, as we can see, we should respecting other religions, because when we respect other religions, our country will be peace and harmony, and avoid from the chaos. So, for the second reason why I think in my home country, the ban of face covering like burqa and niqab should not be implemented. It is because the garments are not a symbol of discrimination on religions. Basically, most of the people in the world think that the face covering like burqa and niqab is a discrimination on religious, but it is not. When someone have the religious that they believe, they are feel free and freedom for them to practices what are their religious want them to do. In federation in federation in Federal Constitution of Malaysia, it has stated that in Article 11, a person has the right to profess and practice his religion. Meaning here, the wearing of the garments does not infringe upon anyone's religion freedom. It not distribute other religion, because Islam has their own practices and belief system. Why I think in my home country, the ban of face covering like burqa and niqab should not be implemented. It is because what we wear, like the garments of face covering, is presenting our identification of a religious. Nevertheless, other countries have their own identification of religious. For example, like Buddha, the robes are significantly in the practice of Buddhism. Other than that, Hindu religious wear sari as their identification. For burqas and niqab, it is identification wearing for a Muslim woman in Islam. What we wear actually, we symbolize our personality and identity. In ethics also, the individual character of a person, whereas morality seems to point to the relationship between human beings. So, for the next, I will present the 4 questions in our case study. It is about should religious garment and iconography from all faith tradition be banned in public school as occurred in France 2004? How or why not? I should say that the religious garment and iconography from all faith traditions should not be banned in public school as occurred in France 2004. It is a wrong to prohibit an individual's choice to wear religion garment in public school. That is an ethical conclusion, not a legal one. So I think it applies most places. As we know, ethic can be defined as character or manners. So, when the religious garment are using in the public school, it's present the manners and custom of the religious, which is Islam. Other than that, this garment should not be banned because all the belief or religious system has their own tradition, custom and symbol. Many of these symbols are highly sensitive and often racist for those who do not share in a particular belief. So, for the next, human right law, however, recognize that people have the right to wear religious clothing and display symbol. They are an expression of their religion belief, whatever in private or public. Other than that, religious garment should not be banned, as it is the right to freedom of the religion. This right include freedom to change his religion or belief, freedom to manifest his religion or belief in worship, teaching, practice, and observance. The ban of the religious garment and iconography give the violence to the right of the religious freedom, and also discrimination based on the religion exists. That's all for me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Farzana binti KHALIB. Okay, I will proceed with the fifth question of the case study, which, according to some account, the law inspired instances of people acting violently against women who continue to wear burkas. Do the principle of separation of church and state and emancipation of women outweigh these consequences? Define your position. The answer is no. The principle of separation of church and state and the emancipation of women did not outweigh the consequences. As we know, the principle of church and state mentioned about the principle of that government must maintain an attitude of neutrality towards religion, and they cannot combine the government and religion in the same place. In addition, the government should never be biased to any religion, as the citizen have the freedom to practicing any religion. In the case study, French Parliament applied the burqa bill and targeted Muslim women who wore burqas, as it is part of the religious garment covering the face and the body in public. However, we know that wearing burqas is not a compulsory to every woman in Islam, but it is a choice made by them, and the French government should respect the decision made. The parliament did not use the principle of separation of church and state, as they are being discriminated to those who wear the burqas, especially to the Muslim women. In the First Amendment of principle of separation of church and state, also mentioned that they allow citizens the freedom to practice any religion, of their choice, but also prevent the government from officially recognizing or favoring any religion. However, French Parliament shows that they are being biased to Islam religion, as wearing burqas shows that the Muslim women are practicing Islam. The French Parliament also did not practice the emancipation of women, as women have their own right to wear anything they want, even if it's related to religion or not. Emancipation of women shows the equal right to women, and remove the gender discrimination from laws. And from this burqa bill, we can see that French government are being discriminated towards women's right of wearing burqas, and the French government shows the emancipation of women as they want to prevent Muslim women from wearing burqas in public. That's all from me. Thank you.